Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into something I think, well, a lot of us feel. It's that pressure, that constant need to be positive, to manifest things just right. And the fear that if you feel bad, even for a moment, like anxious or doubtful,
Mhm.
you're somehow messing everything up, attracting the wrong stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge burden. And that's really the focus today, this
Mm.
this kind of intention fatigue.
So,
It's exhausting, always trying to police your own thoughts and
attention
feelings.
fatigue, yeah, that captures it.
And we're looking at this really interesting paradox.
Right.
The harder you try to force those positive feelings, the more you actually block the natural flow of what you want. Sometimes, honestly, the best thing is just stop trying to fix how you feel.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that.
Hmm.
So our mission here is to really understand why feelings like anxiety or fear aren't failures.
Mm.
They aren't things you have to correct.
Mm.
They're more like signals, just passing through. And maybe how trusting that automatic flow of desire, surrendering control a bit, actually brings relief
Mm-hmm.
and lets life move towards what you actually want anyway, without all the forcing.
Exactly. You don't always need to be intending or
Right.
fixing.
When I first started looking into this, it really hit home that this idea is everywhere, isn't it? That you have to get rid of all anxiety, all worry before anything good can happen.
Right.
And I remember trying so hard to intend away my own anxiety.
Uh-huh.
And it got worse, much worse.
Uh-huh.
I mean, physically worse. I felt constantly like I was about to hyperventilate. It got so bad I thought, maybe I just need to stay in bed, just to stop having any bad thoughts that might attract a bad reality. It sounds extreme now, but
No, but that experience, it perfectly shows this pattern of resistance we're talking about.
Yeah.
And let's be really clear here. The resistance isn't the negative feeling itself. It's the fight against the feeling. When you aggressively try to squash a thought, like, I absolutely must not feel anxious about this presentation,
yeah.
you're basically shining a big spotlight on it. You're feeding it energy, making it bigger, more powerful.
How does that actually work? If I try to stop worrying, isn't my brain just, trying to find calm?
Well, think of it like trying to hold a big inflatable beach ball underwater, you know?
Okay, yeah.
The ball itself, that's the negative thought or feeling, anxiety maybe. But the real effort, the strain, isn't in the ball itself. It's in you constantly pushing it down, keeping it submerged.
Ah, the pressure.
Exactly, that constant downward pressure. That's the resistance.
Yeah.
That's the cognitive effort, the suppression. And that's what drains your energy, mentally and physically. It leads to that exhaustion you mentioned. You're always being chased by the worry because you won't just let it pop up to the surface and, float away naturally.
So the energy drain isn't the worry,
Mm-hmm.
it's the fight against the worry.
Precisely. And here's the real breakthrough, I think. These negative feelings, they aren't flaws. They're not mistakes you need to fix.
Okay.
They're actually described sometimes as material for expanding desire. They have a really important job.
Material for expanding desire.
What does that mean?
It means they show you what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And by showing you clearly what you don't want, they instantly clarify what you do want. So feeling bad tells you, oh, I'd prefer this instead. That contrast launches the desire. The feeling itself confirms your desire is expanding, moving forward.
But wait, for someone listening, someone who's always been taught, effort equals results.
Mm.
Surrendering to a bad feeling. Doesn't that sound a bit like just giving up? Like apathy? How is this different?
That's a really important distinction, yeah.
Yeah.
Giving up or resignation usually means you're accepting the unwanted outcome. Okay, fine, things are bad, and they'll stay bad.
Right.
Acceptance, in this context, means accepting the feeling about the situation, not the situation itself.
Yeah.
You accept, I feel anxious right now. And that leads right into the practical shift.
Okay. Instead of fighting the feeling, you consciously decide, almost like giving yourself permission. Okay, if this worry comes out, it comes out, and then it ends.
You just let it surface.
You let it surface. You stop bottling it up where it just festers and grows.
This reminds me so much of that specific story, the one about the mother who was so worried about her child.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah.
was really struggling, and everyone around her, sort of this collective idea, right? They were telling her that her worry was actually causing the problems for her child.
That's a heavy burden. That collective consensus setting can put immense pressure on people. You must stop feeling bad or you'll make things worse.
And you could see her desperation in what she did. To avoid feeling that heavy worry, she felt she had to constantly be busy, constantly distracted.
Yeah, the source material described her spending basically her whole day, morning till night, just going from shopping centers to stores, anywhere public, just to keep her mind occupied.
Just to avoid thinking.
Exactly. And the result, She was totally exhausted, miserable, and still feeling that panic underneath it all. Her life became this frantic escape from her own thoughts.
And the turning point, the relief,
Yeah.
it wasn't some complicated technique, was it?
Not at all. It was simply someone telling her, essentially, it's okay to worry. It's natural. Worry all you want. Just let it out and it'll end. Permission.
Just permission.
And that permission was everything. Suddenly, she felt calm enough to actually sit at home on her couch and just acknowledge the feeling, okay, I am worrying right now.
And that's the key, just naming it.
Naming it, allowing it. Because stating the feeling removes the resistance against it, that internal fight, that friction that is the real source of the suffering and the energy drain, not the raw emotion.
Wow.
And once she just allowed the worry to be there, to come and go without fighting it, the energy she'd been using to suppress it was freed up. The feelings started to lose their charge, dissipate. Within days, that constant, overwhelming anxiety had really lessened. Not because she fixed it, because she stopped trying to fix it.
Okay, this really flips everything on its head then. If we don't need to force positive feelings or, wrestle negative ones into submission, then what about intention? Do we even need to, actively set intentions with all this effort?
It reframes intention completely. We often think of intention as this active, effortful thing, a chore almost, something we have to visualize intensely and push toward.
Yeah, goal-setting, manifesting.
Well, but what if intention or desire is just inherent, natural? What if it's automatic?
Automatic. How so? That sounds easy. Too easy for someone used to, like grinding it out.
Haha, well, think about basic life stuff. If you're hungry, do you need to sit down and intensely intend to want food?
No, you're just hungry.
Exactly. The desire for food is automatic. If you're sick, you automatically desire health. If you're struggling with money, you automatically desire abundance. No strenuous effort is needed to create that fundamental desire. It arises naturally the moment you notice the lack, the contrast.
So the negative feeling, the
Yeah.
lack, the sickness, that's actually the spark that creates the desire for the opposite.
Precisely. It's baked into the system. This ties into concepts like the emotional guidance system, or sometimes called the Abraham principle. The idea is that anytime you feel resistance, any negative emotion, it's just a signal.
A signal of what?
A signal that a desire for something better, something different, has already been launched and is actually expanding within you. So, feeling bad confirms that expansion is happening, which paradoxically makes the negative feeling kind of a good thing.
Okay, wow. So the feeling bad isn't the problem. It's actually proof that the desire for good is already active.
Yes. It indicates life moving forward, new desires forming. The only problem is the resistance we layer on top of that natural signal. Remove the resistance to the feeling, and you're aligned with the desire that feeling sparked.
That makes perfect sense with my own story about the breathing thing, the hyperventilation.
Tell me more.
Well, the more I tried to force a good, calm breath, the worse it got. I was using intense, aggressive intention to make myself be calm, to manifest perfect breathing. I was fighting the feeling of not having enough air.
Right. Fighting the symptom became the main symptom, resisting the imperfect breathing.
Exactly. And the instant my mother just said, it's okay to hyperventilate, something clicked. The effort just vanished. The need to control it disappeared.
You accepted the possibility of the unwanted outcome.
Yeah. And in that moment of acceptance, that's when I finally took the deepest, most relaxing breath I'd felt in years. And the episodes just stopped. The resistance was the block. Letting go, accepting was the solution.
And that really pulls together everything we've been talking about, that transformation. When you start trying to manage, control, change your emotional state, fear, anxiety, worry, even physical stuff like a racing heart.
You stop the internal fight.
You stop the internal fight. You release all that energy you were spending trying to suppress things. And that surrender, that allowing, is what lets the natural, automatic flow of life, your inherent desires, actually move forward. Think about it. If you already had everything you wanted, would you be desperately fighting your feelings?
No, I guess not. I'd just be relaxed, living.
Exactly. Relax, allowing.
So this is where it gets really, really interesting then. It means you don't have to keep struggling so hard. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to make things happen. Your own system, your desires, are already being registered, even the ones sparked by feeling bad. The path forward isn't paved with more effort and more struggle. Maybe the path is actually paved with ease.
Stop making intention this demanding chore that wears you out. Start trusting the automatic desire that's already humming away inside you.
Wow, okay. So much to think about there.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to mull over. If just allowing your worst fear or your most uncomfortable feeling to simply exist without fighting it, If that's the fastest way to neutralize its power and let your real desire surface, where else? Where else in your life might you be exhausting yourself, fighting a battle you could actually just walk away from?